Welcome, Juventini, to the All Juve Cast channel. I'm your host, Alberto, and this is another installment of Buonasera, Bianconeri. Yes, we're going to recap the news in the day and obviously prepare for what is another Juventus match day. Big match against Atalanta. All right. And Buonasera for me as I'm getting ready to basically call it a night and then get ready for match day. It might be Buona Mattina where you are as it's morning, but start your day off right. Let's go through some of the news. There's a nice post on social media basically asking Juventini if you could add one player in January, who would it be? I want to ask all of you the same question. If you could add one player, all right, one player to this Juve squad, and it would be in January, who would you add? I couldn't actually name a player, but what I did comment on this post with is a striker. Not just a striker, but a striker that's happy to just be in rotation. A striker that's not going to be a main man, that's going to be looking for a lot of minutes and to be a crucial part, just somebody to supplement the guys we do have. Then the links came out with Giroud saying he kind of fits the bill as far as a guy that's not argue about playing time. He's going to be happy being in rotation. He's got decent numbers for a guy that's kind of made a living off basically coming off the bench or whatnot for most of it. But he's an interesting one. I didn't like him when he was one of the names listed for us adding this past offseason because, again, we were looking for someone who could be a main man. And I'm not the biggest fan of Giroud. But in this type of scenario, the price is right. It could be good for us. I want to know how you guys feel about Olivier Giroud being that guy. And I know still a lot of the shouts from Juventini are going to be for the midfielder and attacking midfielder or whatnot, and that's fine. I get it. Locatelli's still getting a shout, but I don't see Locatelli as that driving midfielder that I think we really need. I see him as a hanging back midfielder, almost like an Arthur or whatnot, but I feel like it'd be another guy that's kind of the same. His passing range is much better than the guys we have, though. So it's tough, and I'm a big fan of Locatelli's, but it'd be interesting. Other news, the Dybala saga. The Dybala saga continues, okay? Dybala saga continues. You've got Momblano now. Yes, I know. But Momblano's coming out saying that 20 million euros was the request from Dybala. Well, was it 20 million gross? Because, I mean, that's fine. That actually takes him down to, right around the range we would expect him to be. But look, I don't believe for a second he asked for 20 million euros. The other thing is, too, obviously, Agresti said that the last offer from Juve came in June. There have been no discussions with the agents since then. But oddly enough, today, Jorge Antun, Dybala's agent, is open to meeting with Juve. So did it really take all this to get to this point? Like, what's going on? As far as I'm concerned, the only offer, and this has been obviously floating around today as well from other sources, that the only offer Paulo Dybala received was less than 10 million euros. That's including bonuses. He's at 7 million euros right now. We also have players we took in on freeze that make more than him currently from incentives. So Paulo Dybala definitely isn't out of line asking for more. And things aren't adding up because if you take the numbers financially, okay, and if Agnelli's statement is true, that he has an offer in front of him that makes him one of the top 20 paid players in the world, the numbers just don't jive. Because if that's the numbers he was getting, if that was the numbers that Agnelli gave him, which was, make him a top 20 player, he would have had it. Okay, he would have had a deal that I think they would have agreed to. Okay, I think he would have agreed to that deal had he got it. And why would why would this be happening now with these interviews and these back and forths if they were only $1 million or $2 million apart? Things aren't adding up. The drama's unfolding. As it stands now, finally his agent is open to talking to Juve. So we'll see what happens. Again, my stance is I don't see anybody stepping up in January to outright purchase him. A swap deal is a possibility. But again, are we going to hinder ourselves at the forward position in doing this? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. But again, for me personally, I don't like the look that this has from Dybala saying something and then Agnelli saying something and this back and forth. I want it cleaned up because it's not good for the team. So we'll see what happens. Our opponents, Atalanta. Atalanta's also has their drama involving Papu Gomez. All right. And Papu Gomez is going through a saga too. And out of nowhere, Antonio Cassano chimes in. And he starts talking about what Papu Gomez needs to do and basically show some respect to the team. Well, not listen. The funny thing for me is, does anybody actually ask themselves when some news breaks out, I wonder what Antonio Cassano thinks? No, nobody gives a shit what Antonio Cassano thinks. Like, as if I care about this toilet and what he thinks. Like, it's funny, though. It's amusing. But yeah, Gomez, he's been out of the lineup. Apparently, him and Gasparini have been added, and apparently Gomez has asked to leave. There was also rumors when this rift happened at a halftime of a Champions League match that Gasparini had basically resigned on the spot, and the club stopped him from doing so. It's all sorts of ugly, and welcome to Serie A. So yeah, Atalanta's going through something as well. RB Cops, my man, great to see you join. And do you think Dybala's goal versus Genoa is his turning point in the season? Yeah, I think the team as a whole is starting to hit its turning point. We saw Dybala get a couple goals there against Ferencváros in the Champions League. They were two gimmies. They were gifts based on that team, so you didn't even really see him celebrate. But I thought, okay, that'll help him. He's got a couple goals to his name now. And then it didn't really change things. But even though he's been getting ripped in these past few performances, I think it has been better as of late, and I am seeing a bit of growth there. So yeah, I think it's getting better. But you can tell, especially over the past couple of days, it's definitely the contract thing that's going on there, and it's very strange. And for Agnelli to actually say something too out in the public, like I said yesterday on the episode, no matter what side, you can look at this both ways and say, why is Dybala, saying something again to the media, whatnot? And then you have Agnelli, and you could look at him and say, why is the president, going out there and taking shots like this at players? I don't know. You have people on both sides of the fence. You have some saying, why did Dybala do that? They see it as an attack on the club. Others don't see him trying to protect his name because he has been attacked basically from all angles by fans, by the media. So I could see him just trying to protect himself a bit there. And it's an ugly scenario. Do I think that goal is going to be his turning point? The nice thing is you see the celebration involving the teammates, everyone's behind him. I think it is going to be a turning point, but I don't think it's the ultimate turning point. The ultimate turning point for Dybala, I believe, is his future. And if it's in question with Juve, there's no doubt in my mind that's what's bugging him. So we will have to see. We'll have to see what unfolds there. And of course, as I was mentioning with Papu Gomez and issues, Juve Atalanta. Okay, so the history of this fixture. These two clubs in Serie A have met 134 matches. We have 72 wins for Juve, 47 draws with 15 ending for wins for Atalanta. Last season in Serie A, we defeated them 3-1 on the road, and we had a 2-2 draw against them. Now I'm going to ask, can you name the all-time goal-scoring leader in the history of this fixture? I'm going to put that out to all of you and Teeny now. Yeah, we'll get back to that one. But this match, the lineups. So everybody's still speculating, wanting to see the trident. It seems like we're going through that again. Last year it was HDR, and this season it's Dybala, Morata, and Ronaldo. But in this particular match, I don't think we're going to see it. I think Dybala will be coming from the bench. The rumored lineup is going to be Szczesny in goal, Cuadrado, De Ligt, Bonucci, and Danilo, with Sandro getting a rest across the back. You'll have Chiesa, you'll have McKennie and Arthur, with the other question mark being Ramsey or Kulusevski on the opposite side and sliding into that hole by the forwards, with Morata and Ronaldo up top. I like this lineup. I'd probably lean more towards Ramsey over Kulusevski, but we'll see what ends up happening here. RB Comps is guessing what? Is that for goal scoring leaders? Come on, man. But this lineup, I like this lineup. I think we're gaining traction. You'll probably end up seeing, like I said, it turned into a three-man back. Chiesa on one wing back, Cuadrado on the other. I think still keep the three midfielders stable. So whether it's Ramsey or Kulusevski, start them in the middle as the flat three, move forward, rather than play that high line. It'll be interesting to see, who ends up getting that final spot. Kulusevski just can't seem to get his bearings under him. So we'll see. Chiesa has been a bright spot. He's been great. McKennie has been one of our best midfielders. We will go with that and see. I'd love to see him continue. Arthur will have eyes on him as well. He's getting a lot of praise from Juventini. I personally think in possession he's great, but I need to see a little more. But he has been growing, so let's see what happens. This is a big match. Could be a pivotal swing in Serie A because you have Merda playing Napoli later on in the day, a couple hours later. And AC Milan will be facing Genoa. You'd have to expect that in AC Milan's form, they'll probably get the victory there, 3 points. But anything can happen, and that's why we play the games. But the Merda Napoli one, depending what happens in our match with Atalanta, this could be a big swing game there. Predictions. So, RB Comps, what's your prediction, my man? You're here joining me. I wanna know what you've got for a scoreline. I'm gonna go out, and I think my prediction is going to be a 3-1 victory for Juventus. I don't see us getting a clean sheet. Bonucci will be in the lineup. Zapata, big strong guy, he's gonna have probably get to 1 or something, or I could see us just maybe a mental lapse where we drop 1. Atalanta, they might be a little more suspect than they have been recently at the back, but they're still pretty potent at the front. This Gomez thing is probably a mess for them, though, so it could go either way. But I feel Juve will win this one 3-1. That's my prediction. That's what I'm calling. Getting back to the trivia, okay, who's the all-time leading scorer in the history of this fixture of Juve versus Atalanta? RB Cops, no, I don't have a clue, but I'd have to say Del Piero. ADP is in there with 10, but he's not the leader in all-time goals in the fixtures between Juve and Atalanta. It is Gianpiero Boniperti with 15. We also had 3 other players tied below Del Piero with 8 goals. So, that pretty much wraps things up on Buonasera Bianconeri. Just wanted to recap the news. I want to hear all of your thoughts on where I left off. I want to hear who's a player you think Juve should bring in January? My call is for a striker. I know there's a lot of shouts for midfielders, but my call is for a striker. And I want to see that. I know there's a lot of shouts from midfielders. Who would you bring in January? Name a player. What do you think about Giroud? I said a striker, someone that come in rotation. Giroud kind of fits a mold. It could be many guys, but I think striker is starting to take a priority because when Morata's out of the lineup, we missed that target man. I want to hear your thoughts on the Dybala saga. I want to know what's going on there. And just in general, what are your thoughts with the Dybala saga? How is it going to affect teams? Is it going to have no bearing on the team? And how do you think this team's going to fare the longer this contract thing looms? RB Comps is predicting Juve 2, Atalanta 1, CR7, and Arthur getting his first goal. And for Atalanta, Malinowski, that's a good shout too. He's a very impressive player. So 2-1 from RB Comps, 3-1 for me. I want to hear all your predictions. Comment in the video. Again, it's late night for me, but I love doing these. Look for more of these lives, okay, before match day. And I'll be coming to you live a lot more often. So look for these. Make sure you subscribe. Click the notifications reminders so that you get notifications on when these are dropping. And stay tuned for the post-match podcast. That will be coming up after the match against Atalanta with another great guest. And, of course, as always, an RB Comps cut. Forza Juve, fino alla fine. Enjoy match day, my friends. And buonasera, Bianconeri.